kind of thing.
Another reason I'm being told that the police are not hearing of these crimes is because of fear of reprisals. Susan was dating a young North London gang leader. She first got involved in gangs aged just 13 when she was used as a drugs runner. She used to carry a knife and has been stabbed herself. She knows firsthand how gangs intimidate people.
Most people think, yeah, if I go to the police, the boys are going to get more angry about it and they're going to come after me.
Partly out of fear, partly to fit in with the gang, Susan says she set up girls to be attacked.
You'd see the boys and then you'd see me walking next to them. And if they ever had a problem with a girl, they'd call me and I'd be like, yeah, I'll come with my girls and I do something to the girl as well. And there was a couple of times where I actually set the girl up to get raped.
In fact, she says she arranged for girls to be gang raped on 2 occasions as a punishment for sleeping with her boyfriend. When you say you've been periods when you actually set up other girls to be raped, how many people would have raped those girls?
It would be like about, what, 6 or 7 boys, 8 boys. They call it gang rape and that was it. Like boys, whoever was there, who wanted to get involved, like, yeah, I'm on it, I'll come, and that was it.
And how would you set them up?
I'd say, like, I'd ring them, and then I'd keep everything cool and act like we're friends, and then I'd be like, oh, come with me, and then we'd be on my block, and I'll be, wait here for a second, say it was a park, wait here for a second, then I'd go and get the boys and say, yeah, she's in the park, and they'd come over, and then just do whatever they wanted.
Women setting up women to be gang raped, groups of teenagers roaming estates, kidnapping a girl, dragging her through the streets and then raping her. It makes me wonder, what is it about this complete lack of respect for girls, and for some girls, complete lack of respect for themselves? And what is it about the culture within these gangs that would make anyone do such a thing? I've come to South London to meet with Professor John Peat, an expert on youth crime.
Sometimes it's about retribution against somebody from a rival gang. Might be the girlfriend or the sister of a rival gang member, or it might be that it's a girl in their own group who they believe has betrayed them or is now siding with another group. So some of these group attacks are specifically about gang involvement. Other times it'll be young people doing it simply because they know they can get away with it. I think one of the reasons that gang rape or group rape is more common in gang-affected neighbourhoods is because the level of fear that's generated by gangs, particularly if they're affiliated to older, more serious gangsters, is such that the young people involved know that nobody is going to go to the police about it. And of course this makes it quite a dangerous world for young women to live in.
In part 3, the girls themselves challenge boys about their attitudes to sex.
So hang on, so you think it's right that even if a girl went to meet loads of men, it's all right for her to get raped? Because basically that's what you're saying, yeah, and it's not right for any girl to get raped.
She's walking and she's giving herself the opportunity to get raped, innit?
Of all the gang rape cases I found in my investigation, the majority took place in London. But there are cases in other cities, and not all of them involved young black men. Here in Liverpool, the number of reported cases has jumped from 3 or less in 2007 to 11 in 2008.
First thing I heard, my wife phoned me up. Obviously she was sobbing. I was, what's the matter, what's the matter? Next minute when she all calmed down, she went, oh, he's being raped.
This family's daughter reported being gang raped in the Norris Green area of the city in September 2007. She was just 15, heading to the shops on a Saturday afternoon when she says 4 teenagers grabbed her. She hadn't lived in the area long, but thought she heard someone shout out her name.
She's turned round, 2 of them have grabbed her to the floor, and they said to her, be quiet or we'll hurt you. And next thing she knew, saw the lad pulling his pants down, and she closed her eyes after that. But she knew he had green eyes, the rapist had green eyes.
She didn't recognize any of her attackers and described them to the police as all white boys, aged about 15 to 17.
There was 4 of them together. They were all dressed in black. They all had these hoods on with the scarves. And they've gone out that day with the intention to do something.
Initially, their daughter said nothing, but she broke down at school on the Monday.
She just said, "Mum, I'm sorry, I've been raped," and I don't know.
What could you think? It's just not something that just doesn't happen. In my mind, it's something that just... It would never cross my mind that this type of thing could happen.
It's
not really.
No. It's something.
Especially not to my kids.
Nearly 2 years on, and the family is still coming to terms with what happened to their daughter.
Doesn't really go out on her own, does she?
Well, she won't. We've even moved out of the area to a quiet place. In other words, there's no gangs in where we have moved to.
The police investigated the complaint, but were unable to find the attackers.
It's hard for us because she won't talk to us, will she? And we don't know what's going on inside her head. But, you know, that's her way of coping and you've got to accept it.
In all the other cases I've looked at for this film, the victims knew at least one of their attackers, and the young men didn't even try to hide their identities. Leslie, who lives in North London, used to hang around with gangs. She described to me how some young attackers boast at school of what they've done, and even showed footage of the attacks filmed on their phones.
There have been videos that have been made of girls, passed around schools, put on the internet of like local girls. These videos show girls giving oral sex in the local council estates with maybe a group of 5 or more boys on one girl, or like a girl being batteried, as what they'll call it, and that would just go around the whole neighbourhood, and that girl would get a really bad reputation for herself. Sometimes put the camera in the girl's face and she just looked scared.
But she never thought it could happen to her until a boy who lived across the street she'd known and played with since the age of 9 invited her around to play computer games one evening.
I just thought, you know, like, I can trust him, like he's a friend, like he's not gonna do anything.
But it was a trap. He and 2 other 15-year-olds raped her.
They just told me to take off the bottom half and that was it. Like, I had one holding me down and the other one doing the thing.
Later, Leslie explained how she thinks the young perpetrators are getting away with it.
They don't care who they trample on, and they're not scared of anything or anyone. These boys know that they can get away with it, so they'll just keep on doing it, and no one will come forward and say anything.
Why do you think that some people find men who are in gangs attractive?
Researcher Colin Farming is interviewing hundreds of young women about sexual attitudes and the threat of sexual violence. She is due to present her findings to the government in the autumn.